Welcome to the Guided Expressions podcast with Martin Williams, the place to learn and be inspired to live your best life. Here is your host, Martin Williams.
Hello, thanks for tuning in to the Guided Expressions podcast. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You may do so at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. All the links to the podcast and the relative subscription links to the podcast can be found at guidedexpression.com, guidedexpressions with an S.com /podcast with an S. Thank you again for tuning in. And I wanted to talk today about not chasing rabbits. Gotta stop chasing rabbits. Now, you might be hearing that and you might say, well, what is he talking about now? It's weird podcast titles. So I heard a story a long time ago, and it was a preacher who said that if you chase two rabbits, you won't catch either one. But if you chase one rabbit, you'll catch it. And, you should chase the second rabbit and you'll catch it. But if you chase two rabbits, you won't catch either one. And I've thought about that story for a long time. And it wasn't until recently that I really decided to apply it to my life. Because so many people are overwhelmed, right? We got a lot going on these days. Life is busier than ever. And, many of you, your kids are home now more than ever. You're working from home. And so, you're doing a lot of different things at once. And you're, basically juggling a lot of different things at once. And it can become very stressful. It can become very overwhelming. And, the decision often becomes, what is the priority? And if you don't choose a priority, you end up trying to do a lot of things at one time. It's this thing called multitasking, which is one of the more destructive habits of production and productivity that I can think of. Because usually when you multitask, you don't do anything particularly well. You may get it done, but it won't be done at a high level. Most of us perform at a high level when we do one thing at a time and we finish one thing at a time. So I wanted to bring that story up because we really need to think about how many rabbits are we chasing in a day or in a week or in a month. I know for me, whenever I have a lot of goals, it may seem overwhelming at first, but I have to remember to just do one thing at a time. And if you only finish one thing, that is productive. You are productive. And, we can always be more productive. We can always improve our productivity. But we get in trouble when we start to do too many things at once. And I know for myself, it's a challenge because we want to get all these things done, right? We want to finish these things. And, anytime that you're working in a business and building a business, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do on the creative side. There's a lot to do on the administrative side. When you own the business, you have to do business owner things. So the list just goes longer and longer. But in all of that, it is all about doing one thing and finishing it and then moving on to the next thing, finishing that, then moving on. And that does two things. Number one, it enables you to put all of your energy, all of your drive, all of your mental power towards finishing one thing. And then the second thing is that you actually finish. A lot of people are less productive than they really realize. I know for me, I've kind of deluded myself into thinking that I'm super productive when in fact I was just busy. I was just doing a lot, but I wasn't getting a lot done, if that makes sense. It's like you're working on things, but things are never actually getting finished because you're chasing too many rabbits. Like some people are chasing 10 rabbits at the same time. And no wonder they don't catch any because, your attention, even though it's powerful, is being diluted and it's being split in 10 different ways, right? And that is something that is an issue for a lot of people. So what my suggestion is that, and I got this from Brian Tracy a long time ago, great speaker, great motivator. Find the one goal. What's one goal that's on your list that would change your life, right? Because you may have a lot of goals, but one or maybe two of those goals would really revolutionize your life. It's almost as if getting that one goal would probably knock out 3 or 4 more goals. So find that goal, really go through your list, and often it's a money goal, right? Because if you had more income, you could hire people to do some of this stuff, right? You could hire a virtual assistant to knock out a lot of these things. You could hire, a natural assistant, like someone close to where you live, or maybe someone who is stateside versus being overseas, and they could do a lot of the stuff for you. At work, there may be someone that you could delegate to. Now, that doesn't require money, but you catch my drift. You can consolidate your to-do list significantly if maybe you accomplish 1 or 2 goals. So think about, what are ways that I could knock this goal list in half without me doing any extra work? That's the skill that a lot of efficient people have, is that they are able to knock out their list or minimize their list considerably without exerting more effort. Going back to the money thing, how much would it cost to hire an assistant? If an assistant is $200 a month, right? Wouldn't it make more sense to just make $200 a month so you can pay that assistant and then cut your list down? It makes a lot more sense to me. And then you can just concentrate on being more creative, right? And creating more stuff. You can hire an assistant to edit videos and upload videos, and hire an assistant to do social media and all of those things. All those things save time and give you back your time to be more creative and more productive doing the things that only you can do. So think about how you can make your life more efficient by not so much spending more time or more energy, but getting the same, if not more, done. Fiverr, to me, is one of the most awesome things ever, because I can pay someone a relatively small amount of money to do something that would take me 2-3 days at minimum to do. Like I hired someone to do a YouTube intro for me, and he just hit it out the park. It was so good. And I probably could have figured it out at some point, but I'd rather do this. Like, I'd rather do podcasts. I'd rather do guided imagery audios. I'd rather do courses. Those are things that I actually like to do. Doing YouTube intros is not something that I particularly enjoy doing. I don't mind doing it, but I don't particularly enjoy doing it. It's much better to hire out for those things. So think in terms of that. Stop trying to do everything. Stop trying to chase so many rabbits. Pick one thing to do that, finish that, then pick the next thing. And then the second part of that is find ways to take your to-do list down considerably. If you can get your to-do list down from maybe 20 to 5, that opens up so much more time for you, and also opens up more energy to put towards the things that you like doing, the things that only you can do, and the things that truly matter in the growth of your business. Because all the administrative stuff is important, but if you don't have a course, if you don't have a product, none of it matters. Because the product, what you give to the consumer, that's how they pay you. And that's how you're able to grow your business and grow it to the point that you can do the things that you really want to do. Like take care of your family, take care of your parents, travel and enjoy, this beautiful world that we live in. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Guided Expressions podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And I will talk to you soon.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Guided Expressions podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify to get all the latest content from Guided Expressions. No one builds a house without a blueprint, so why are you trying to build your dream life without one? That's why the Blueprint course was created. The Blueprint course is for people who know they were meant for more. Created by Martin Williams, the Blueprint is a streamlined way to help you create the life you've always wanted. Get instant access now by clicking the link in the description box or going to guidedexpressions.com/blueprint.